What is up, YouTube? We have done it. We have made a workable app that lets you save your lightsabers. You can finally use this to plan out a build and then keep that build for reference. Let's jump right into it. So, here on Github, this link will be in the description. You can get to the project, you can download it, and then you can use this. As long as you know how to use a console or a Unix environment, I'm getting there. More on that later. So, the lightsaber planner is now on version 1.2. We just released it. We tagged it. It's here available on GitHub. All you gotta do is click this release, download the source files, unzip it, and build it and run it. There are instructions in GitHub and the README to build it. If you download it, that will also be in the README, or the README will also be in the source files. You will have that. You will know how to build it from here. So, version 1.2 released. We added in save, load, and delete functionality, and we fixed the bug causing the infinite loop on a string or character input. I'll get into that when we get to the code here in a second. Other than that, now our future development is to add an option for users to have a second lightsaber and complete some fixes for bugs and going outside of attribute bounds. So, as it stands, we will be releasing the second lightsaber as a version 2.0, and that will most likely be the last revision unless there are bugs that need to be addressed, and I will hopefully have people use the app and show me what bugs they see. Other than that, I'm going to add in the second lightsaber, add in the saving, loading, and option for that. I already have that planned out. This shouldn't take me too long, and hopefully you'll have the option to plan out a dual saber run. So, in the future, I'm going to be learning how to create the GUI for this app. And you have all seen the KOTOR lightsaber upgrade. I want to make it something similar to this page. I want to make it something similar where you have your lightsaber, your crystal, your 2 upgrade crystals, and then the right side will have text. But not just the text for the lightsaber that you see like here with the feats required and the weapon proficiencies. It'll have what I'm outputting on the text. It'll have the options for the user. It will have different drag and drop. It'll probably be select on the upgrade crystals and the color crystals, where you'll select the options and then select what crystals you use. Hey, look at that. That's my thumbnail right there. That's how much I'm doing good so far. So, those will probably be like drop-down select menus. It'll show the crystals in those slots, have the lightsaber change colors, all that jazz. That's going to be the next major milestone, is getting all of this compiled into a version 1.1 for the GUI and releasing that so everybody can download it and use it sufficiently. However, going over what we've done now, all of these green things are done. We squashed the bug. So now we squashed that bug, actually. So we'll mark that off. Good looking here. And so, going into how I implemented the storage, there are text in the game on Strategy Wiki that supplies you with this information that there aren't subject to the increased point cost on which apply at character generation, so any attribute can be increased to a maximum of 23 by investing points. So, after character creation, and once you hit level 20, the maximum you can have with a single stat is 23 points. So, we need to accommodate for this bit. So, there's 6 attributes, and a max of 23 on each one. A single attribute will need 5 bits, and there's 6 of them, so that takes 30 bits of storage. Saber type has 3 options, 0 to 2, expressed in 2 bits, so 2 bits of storage there. Saber color, 7 options, we need 8 bits there. Upgrade crystals have 16 options, 4 bits is 16, 0 to 15, that's a 16 range, and so that's exactly what we needed for that, which is perfect for saving space. We can load all of this and save it into a single uint64 with some adding and bit shifting, and then loading with just some bit masking and bit shifting as well. The way it's going to work, you'll have your lower end to your upper end, right to left on the screen. So the lower end, you have strength, dex, con, int, wisdom, and charisma, taking up the first 30 bits. 2 bits for the saber type, 3 bits for the color, 4 bits for the upgrade crystal 1, and then 4 bits for the upgrade crystal 2. And right now there's 23 bits of dead space. So there's 23 bits, if my calculation is correct, should accommodate for a second lightsaber. There will be 1 bit for a flag to indicate for a second lightsaber. So that leaves us with 22 bits left for creating lightsaber. Well, there is a saber type, a color, and 2 upgrade crystals. That is 8, 10, 13 bits. We have 22, so we have well enough space to save a second crystal. So we don't even have to change our storage mechanic for adding the second lightsaber. We just have to add it onto the end at the large part of the word for saving. That will accommodate easily when we get to version 2. So as you can see here in the code, we have all of our bit masks for these lower ends. Your strength bit mask is the first 5 bits, all 1s. Dex mask, your next 5 bits, all 1s, everything else 0. That's kind of how bit masking works. You AND that with everything. You take this block of int numbers, 1100, 1111, whatever. You have these 5 numbers, you AND it across. So these 5 numbers that are in these sections are the last ones you'll have, and then you'll have zeros, and you'll bit mask shift that. We can save our current build by getting the value from the crystal. The crystal's on the far left, so we want to put this in to the integer first. So put that in, shift it to the left. Put the second crystal in, shift it to the left. We have 8 bits of data now. Color value, 3. Type value, 2. Character, charisma, wisdom, int, con, dex, strength. All of that is in the backwards notation than what happens here, because you want this to be on the left and strength to be on the right. And so strength will be added into this final value last. And so when you save that, that all goes in. And loading is just a simple choosing what build to load. And we'll get into how that works here in a second. To get this, you can make it, and it will build. There's going to be some warnings. We don't care about that. The null is necessary for us when we are loading and deleting builds for the check so that we don't run into this issue later. You can input strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, lightsaber, yada, 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 yada. So here we are. We have a single blade blue, and now we have new options. Number 7 is to save a build. So we put 7, and we get the option to give it a name. Let's put test. Now we can look at what builds we have using the 10, and you see that there's test value, and that value is the integer that we just threw in as the entire save mechanic. And so what you see here is this 0 that test and value is saved under. When you load, you are going to select the integer option that you see given there. Which build provide the int ID? 0. If we put test in, it's not an integer, that's an error. You select it. So put 0, and now you have loaded in that build. Now let's actually put in crystals here so you can see this work. Now we have the Solari and the Crate Dragon Pearl. We will save that build. Call that test 2. And you can see that when you show the builds, there's test and test 2, and test 2 is now assigned number 1. If we change our crystals back to 0, we have no crystals, and now we decide to load our build, and we decide to load test 1. Load that, and you can see we have our Crate Dragon and Solari crystals equipped. Looking at this, we can now delete builds. We have test and test 2. Delete which build, you'll provide the integer. So let's say if we delete 0, all right, it will show you that your current saves after you delete this has now been remade to 0. So everything is going to be 0 to maximum number of saves left that you have. And this happens just with some behind the scenes changing of the value that it's saved under. I just changed this beginning value right here and make sure everything goes from 0 to the maximum. And that's it. After that, we can delete the build again and clear everything out. And then you see here that we have no saves left. And so if we tried to accidentally delete something again, we will just get there are no current saves available, show that there are none, and so on. If you try to load a build when there are none, no current saves available, once again, you need to save a build before this option becomes available to you. When you create this project or you download it, you'll have this saves.json, and there will be nothing in it. And as you save or delete builds, this is where it gets saved, and you don't want to move this file, you don't want to mess with this file with different values inside of it unless you have physically calculated this in a calculator for a program and calculated out the integer that you want to make. Easiest way is to just use the app. That's kind of the point. Why wouldn't you use it if I made this, to be honest? Anyways, you can now exit if I do the right thing. And then I'll show you how all these integers that are input are now encased in this while loop. And so this just checks the integer. It says if you can't input ID, which means that you're taking an integer, if it's not inputting an integer, it will clear and ignore it and then make you redo it. That's how I got around that. That's how I fixed that problem. That's all I have to show you guys for today. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you guys use this app now that it's kind of more usable. It's in a spot that you could use it where you would save it, you keep it, and you would plan an actual playthrough around what you've put in here. If you want to see more, I've been doing some of the development on Twitch. I've also been doing a KOTOR 2 Force Only run, and I got some other RPGs and videos and manga videos, reviews that I've been doing that are coming to you soon. I'm also starting to get a deeper project for KOTOR working on. Got to do a lot of writing for it, so look out for that. If you enjoy all that, if you're looking forward to any of that, please subscribe. Helps the channel greatly. Starting to get caught up here and doing this app development. You can follow this along as well if you subscribe and get notified for that. So you should subscribe if you are just interested in this at all, especially when I start making the GUI and then anyone can use it and it's not more of like developer usage. Other than that, stream on Twitch. Go follow me on Twitch. Link will be in the description below. The link to this project is in the description below. Anyways, man is lost without the sauce. Same man can get lost in the sauce. Have a great day. Peace.